Hey guys, Languagehacker here, and I'm going to give you a tier list now for the Mercenaries. Now the tier list is going to be relative to what's currently popular in the meta, so this might not be evergreen, for example. I don't think this might be relevant when more Mercenaries comes out or if the meta changes too much, but I think a lot of these will be pretty close to what they actually should be ranked regardless of meta. There's some that will be changing what rank they're in, but it's hard to rate stuff in a vacuum when there's so many synergies available. So let's hop right in. Antonidas, Fire Enabler, pretty solid. I would probably say B tier though. I haven't had that much success with the Fire comp. Antonidas does enable the other combos, which is nice, but by himself isn't really like illegal or anything. Geddon's pretty solid. One of the reasons to run the Fire comp. So we'll leave them there. Brightwing will throw B tier. Brightwing's actually pretty okay. And because of that, I think it's B tier. I don't think it's so good that you're just jamming it in more places. And even Geddon, you're not really jamming in that many places. But I've seen Geddon in a couple of comps, actually, even with Diablo. Karen, S tier. Speed Manipulation is king right now, and that just means Karen's up there. Gruul, Keck W, D tier. King Crush will throw A tier. And this is kind of meta-dependent. I don't think King Crush is insane by itself, but the meta is very blue-heavy. And because of that... let me just... Okay, that should be better. And because of that, he's actually quite strong right now. Because of the... there's like a green beast build that you can get going, and King Crush is good in that. Mukla, I would say B tier. Mukla also fits in the beast comp, but not because Mukla is great. It's because you kind of just need a protector there. The taunt from the Mukla's... equipment is good against something like a Blade Master opening, so that helps as well, but I wouldn't put it A tier. Manaroth, C tier. Or B tier? It's weird, because Manaroth is actually good in the Demon comp. The problem is the Demon comp sucks. But if the meta becomes more green heavy, I would actually say Manaroth is playable. Like, the health you gain out of a maxed Manaroth across all your demons is insane, especially if you open with like a Jiraxis Manaroth Rathian. So even though this is garbage right now, I don't think the unit's actually bad. I think it's actually quite good. Mutinous, we'll put C tier. I played a bit with Murlocs today and it was actually kind of okay, but it would just... I don't know. It would just be way better not to run Mutinous, honestly. If the meta slows down, again, maybe, but I think we're always going to have a very fast meta, so I don't think we can do that. Natalie, pretty solid. I don't think she's the best thing to run in the Shadow comp, and I think in some places she's been run away, like removed, so I think it's somewhere between B and A. But I think in most places I've seen her not being run, so I'm going to put her in B. Valen, B as well. He fits in the Holy comp, but he's not the reason you're running the Holy comp. It's the synergy with him, Anduin, and some of the other stuff. So again, this would kind of be between B and A for me, but I'm leaning towards B just for the time being. Saurfang, pretty solid, but I would throw B tier. In the Orc comp, you definitely run him, but he's not the main reason that the Orc comp is insane. He's just kind of a support in that sense. Tyrion, also B tier, good support in the Holy comp. Tyrande will put C tier. I think if, again, the meta slows down, theoretically you could start using her in an Arcane comp, and even in a Nature comp, but I feel like she's too slow right now to actually see play, so maybe if there's nerfs or something, or if some other synergy comes out, we could include her, but right now it's just C tier. Varian, D tier. Garbage, doesn't do anything. Vol'jin, S tier, enables the Shadow comp, just really good. Anything speed related is just insane. Geddon also has some speed manipulation, but it's a little too slow. It's not quite as good as Vol'jin, for example. Voon, Voon has some potential. I don't think Voon's really good, but there are some openings that are kind of okay, which helps in a blue heavy comp, which we're in a blue heavy meta, which we are in right now. And I think, again, with more Dragon support could be useful. I don't think he's straight up D tier. Alexstrasza, same kind of thing. I don't think she's very useful right now, but with more Dragon synergy, can become a bit more useful. Anduin, we'll throw Anduin A tier. Scalable equipment, which is really nice. AoE heal and damage. And Penance single target damage and heal is kind of good as well. Diablo, S tier. Fits in all the speed manipulation comps. Pretty good. I would even say between S and A, because he's enabled by the other haste stuff, by the other like speed manipulation things. It's like, I think he's in between, but his toolset is just solid. Garrosh, A tier. One of the reasons to run the Orc Comp. Pretty tanky, can gain health. Pretty solid. Grom, I would probably put like C tier. Again, like if you're missing some orcs, you can throw him in, but I don't think he's actually relevant in the Orc Comp. Still more useful than Growing variant though. Gul'dan, probably between B and A. You run him in the Orc Comp because there's some sustain with him, but he's not like the main gas behind them. You throw in Gul'dan later on after some of your orcs, other orcs die to keep Garrosh up. Illidan I'm actually not going to put in garbage tier. Somewhere between B and C for me. I've seen him used a little bit. Again, slightly better right now because it's a blue heavy meta. But I haven't seen him enough to actually say whether he's good or not. I'm going to... It's in between for me. I'm going to put B just a little bit higher. No, it's C. I haven't seen him enough. Jaina I haven't played too much with. I think her ice block just got fixed, so she'll be seen a bit more. Somewhere here-ish for me. I don't think she's like nutty. She has some utility because she does have some freeze with a water elemental and some frost damage, but there's no frost damage we have. She might get better if we have some more frost units. Draxus, same thing. It's like between B and C. I think Draxus, so the difference between B and C here for me, there are some comps that I'm putting in C because I think they have some potential if there are more things added. The things in B comp, the units that are in comps that I've been putting in B tier actually have the support there. It's just not the right meta for them. So I think that's why I'm putting Draxus and Manroth here, but I'm putting other synergies like Dragons down in C. Malfurion, somewhere between A and S. And this is kind of meta dependent, like meta call. Like it's speed manipulation, which is great, and sustain because of the equipment. Actually, I'll just leave him an A. It's a little rough because you get nuked by the casters right now, but I mean, if the casters ever slow down and we switch to more green or red, Malfurion will be insane. Rag, A, B tier, A probably. It's one of the reasons to run the fire comp because of the extra fire damage you get from his equipment. Rexar, somewhere between A and B. I actually don't know. I've seen him in the Beast comp that people are using to try and counter casters, but I'm not actually sure. So he's got Animal Companion, Explosive Shot. He's got the equipment that buffs Beast. Somewhere between A and B. The equipment is pretty good. We'll leave it an A. Sylvanas, somewhere between A and S tier. She's really good in I think it's A tier. I don't think you just throw Sylvanas anywhere. Like, you throw Sylvanas when she's good with some of the other speed stuff. Like, if you don't have any of these, you don't want to just run Sylvanas by herself because it's a bit too slow. So I think it's between A and S, but I'm going to leave it at A. Lich King, somewhere between S and A. I think I leave it an S. Just, again, speed manipulation, very good. You got some nuke, some healing. It's a bit of flexibility. There's a taunt as well, even though it's slow. Thrall will put between B and A. Probably B. Probably B. It's a little bit in between, but again, the meta is very blue heavy, so Thrall does just kind of get nuked pretty quickly. Uther will throw in B as well, I think. It's not the main reason to run the Holy Comp. He does pop up in some Holy Comps, but I feel like he's just kind of ignored a lot. Like, the Holy Comp I ended up running didn't even have him. I think he's okay as an option, but I don't think he's just like auto-include in the Holy Comp. Samuro, somewhere between B and A, just solid unit. Enabled a bit by Zyrella, but I'm not sure if I would include that in A or B. It's probably just too easy to make work to not have an A, but it's kind of close to me. And because of that, I think we throw Zyrella up there too, just because of the wombo combo potential. It's just too easy to make work. Blink Fox, somewhere in C tier, maybe D tier. There's some merit to Blink Fox's third ability, or yeah, Mind Thief, but it's just random, and that's kind of an issue. No, it's D tier. No, I mean it's just a meme. I don't think you can actually run it. Brucon, probably B tier as well. Even in the nature comps, people are starting to not open with Brucon. They're opening with like Malfurion, Guff, and then a different nature. Be between B and A. Where though? We'll go B. Carriol. C to B. She's nice as a taunt in terms of utility, but she's not actually useful in any other capacity, which is kind of unfortunate. She's not useless, so I'm not going to put her in D. She's useful to some extent, but not that flexible. So because of that, I'll put her in C. Yeah, that's fair. Cornelius. I don't think I've seen Cornelius ever. We're going to throw D. Maybe, I don't know, maybe there's some more synergy with him that we haven't really explored yet, but for right now, I haven't seen him like anywhere. Okay, Guff. A tier. A lot of damage in the nature comp. You can buff him as well. One of the reasons Torn Nature. We'll keep him there. Kurtrus BC. There's some demon stuff going on there, but one of his attacks is random, which isn't very cool. I-Beam is okay sustain, but doesn't really fit in a specific comp. So it's somewhere between B and C. I don't think something exists for him, so maybe if the meta gets demon heavy, he has some utility, but right now I don't think it's that useful. And a Chondra, somewhere between B and A. I would normally say B, but because we're in a caster heavy comp meta, she can kind of lean towards A. The thing is, you're literally using her for her 1 damage ability. No, I'm going to keep her in B. I don't think the meta's slow enough to spawn units and to heal with her. So we're basically using her for her nuke. And at that point, you can use any green for a nuke. You would use her in a nature comp because it's a little bit... Yeah, I think it's B. B is fine. Millhouse, C tier. Has some potential. There's scalability. There's a lot of damage with missiles, but health is low, and it's just too slow. Morgul, B tier. I think I've been actually using Morgul in the nature comp a little bit. Might not be optimal, but it's kind of nice with the Murloc missile and the equipment that lets Morgul buff more than just Murlocs, like any friendly characters. It's kind of okay as an option. And there is some synergy potential with other Murlocs if they get added to the game. So because of that, not just C tier, I think it's B tier. There's some more utility. Murkeye, C tier. I think is actually kind of useful. Again, I tried Murlocs today, and you can snipe a blue pretty quickly with one of his ability that lets you target one guy with all of your Murlocs, but there's just not enough support, and even with the Murloc comp, I had to rely on speed manipulation to win. So potential, but probably not playable right now. Rathorian, I'm going to include in C tier. This is not the reason to run demons. He's useful as a green in the demon comp, but just not that great. There's a demon summon with, I think with a rush, you have a bit of scalability built into him, but like, I don't know. It's somewhere between B and C. He's not the reason you run demon comps, but he's there just as a demon if you need it. Rikara, probably C-ish. I haven't seen Rikara in the Orc builds at all. Yeah, I haven't really seen Rikara in the Orc builds at all. Somewhere between C and B. But the fact that we're in a caster heavy meta and I don't see her in the Orc builds means that, like, at that point, why are we even running her? So we'll keep her in C. I think she has acceptable synergy with the Orcs, but not better than other stuff. Scabs, somewhere between C and B. I'm going to leave it C. The amount of damage that comes out of Wicked Stab and then stealthing quickly and then getting another Wicked Stab off is really, really nice, especially in a blue heavy comp meta. So I don't want to include him in B because he's very, very... It's like almost a tech card at that point. And I wouldn't necessarily keep tech cards at B, so that's fine. Tamsin, somewhere between B and A. Shadow Ramp is nice. Death Rattle equipment is pretty good. She's just solid. I think she's A. Yeah. A lot of the ramp, like damage ramp, should be in, somewhere between B and A, probably closer to A. But some of them don't really work right now. I think Tamsin's fine. Tavish, I think, is A tier as well. This is more of a recent development. I think people have been running him in like the Beast comp to help counter blues. Somewhere between B and A for me. I don't have that much experience, so I'm going to leave him in A. And then Varden is going to be not B tier, S tier because of speed manipulation. I'm not going to order them from left to right because that's just, I mean, you could spend hours arguing between them. I think this is where we're at, though. So let's zoom out a little bit so we get the full picture. I think that's good. I think we did a good job here. All right. that's my tier list. If you want a link to this, I'll provide it below in the description. Yeah, this was fun. Like, comment, subscribe. Catch you guys next time. Keep an eye out for more comp videos.